gone. I don't understand. It's time for class. What are y'all doing? Man, I never know what I'm going to find when I come to class. Oh, you know, that's a really old song. I don't really know why y'all are playing that song today. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so like always, I'm going to write some things on the board. Like I always. What's that? Girl, what are y'all doing? I can't believe y'all are talking on the phone to each other during class. Wait now. Now, you need to turn the phone off and be quiet. Okay, be quiet because it's time for class to start. Speaking of turning the phone off, I'm kind of glad you did that because I have to turn my phone off every time I come to class, right? So if you have a phone with you today, I want you to turn it off and put it someplace where you can't see it like you usually do. Okay, so it's time for class to start. And when class starts, remember I always start out by calling the roll. Okay, let's see, there's my roll. What do I do with my roll? What? What is this? Don't come in. Sit down, just have a seat. Don't come into class like that late. You know, admittedly, I haven't called the roll yet, but I mean, there's no reason for you to not be sitting in your seat when class starts, okay? So I'm going to call the roll like I always do. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I can't call the roll like I always do because I'm not really here. Okay, so what's going to happen, I've got these purple rolls because, you know, purple's my favorite color. And I'm going to have somebody who's in the room with you pass this roll around. And you could check off your name, or just make a check mark by it to show that you're here. And that way it'll be in alphabetical order. That's the reason I don't like people to sign rolls, because they're not in order and I can't read their writing. So I'm just going to hand this to you. Thank you. Good. And then you can just do that, because I'm not here. So you please do that for me, okay? Thank you. Okay. So let's see, I can't call the roll, but last time I saw you, we had a test. So I could go over the test and tell you all your grades and everything, but yes, Sydney, what is it?
Did I get a ladybug?
What is it, Sydney? What is it?
Did I get a ladybug?
Did you get a ladybug?
Yeah.
On the test?
Yes, ma'am.
So you thought you made an A or a B?
Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you now because I'm not here. Okay, so please go on my website, my KISS site, and see if you made the honor roll, which is the A's and B's, the people with the ladybugs, okay? If you want to know your grade, and it's not, you don't have an A or B, all you got to do is email me, just like usual. And I think you can go onto the Northwest website now and find out what your midterm grade is. So y'all know that, okay? So I can't go over the test. I can write things on the board like I always do. And so if I write over on this side of the board, you know, and if I write over on this side of the board, you know, so I'm going to write over on this side first, okay? So let's see. Where are my markers? Gotta have my markers, right? Like I always do. So let's see. Okay. So I want to tell y'all about the next exam. You know, whenever we have an exam, I start talking about the next one. Okay, so this is exam 4. And it's going to be on, it depends on which class you're in. It's going to be on Monday, November the 3rd, or Tuesday, November the 4th. And don't forget, that's the day you're supposed to vote for the presidential election. So can this be seen? Yeah, I guess it's seen. Just making sure you can see what I'm writing on the board. Okay? So that's your next exam. And so you need to go to my site and all that like you usually do and start preparing for it now. Don't wait until the night before the test. Okay? So let's see. What are we doing today? Let me move some stuff around on my desk here. I wonder, Sydney? Sydney?
Ma'am.
What are you doing? Painting our nails. Well, we don't paint our nails in class.
Well, I got 2 more left. 4?
No. You need to put that away. It's class time. I'm sorry, put it away. Sorry. Okay. You can't paint your nails in class. I mean, everybody knows that. Okay, so let's see. I've got to find chapter 10. And I need y'all to open up your book to pages 152 and 153. Taylor, what are you saying? What kind of book is that? That's not our textbook. That's a... Have you got another class that you're studying for in my class? Oh, have you got something inside that? Okay. So remember, we don't need to be reading other material in class, even if I'm not here. Even if I'm just virtually here. Okay? So, chapter 10, it says this is about patterns in inherited traits, inheritance. So it's about inheritance, which is actually really about genetics.
I know.
about genetics. And so it starts out, the intro to the chapter starts out talking about a particular disease that's inherited. You know, some diseases run in your family. And the one they're talking about is called cystic fibrosis, or CF. Okay, what this causes in the body is those chloride ion channels that we learned about in the diffusion osmosis chapter. When those chloride ion channels don't work, the mucus builds up in the lungs, and that mucus that builds up causes them to have lots of infections and stuff. And if y'all don't know what I mean by mucus, remember I told y'all before, it's not. Okay, it's not. So that's just a natural thing you're supposed to have in your lungs. So if this doesn't work properly, then you have to build up mucus in your lungs, and it can cause all kinds of diseases. So an interesting thing about one of my students, the guy that's the president of the GSA right now, I don't think I want to mention his name, but I'll just tell you that he has CF, and he's 23 years old, and he had a lung transplant last year. So when you've got cystic fibrosis, it's very serious. And last spring, in April, the Green Club participated in the Great Stride Walk for CF, which was in Hernando. So I'll remind y'all about that again if you want to help raise money, because this is the most common serious disorder that's inherited in Caucasian people. So this is very common. 1 in every 3,200 Caucasian Americans has this, and it's very serious. And it runs in families. So I really don't have to be concerned that CF is going to be found in one of my children or my nephews or nieces, because it's not in my family. But if it's in your family, then it's said to be inherited in your family. Okay, so I've got a little handout I want y'all to work on, and let me just get that out. Let's see. I'll just make sure all of y'all have one, and hopefully everybody will get one. So let me pass these out to these students over here. Let's see, here's one for Nathan, one for Holly, and another one for Cindy. Okay, now y'all pay attention and quit doing all the stuff you've been doing. We're making a film. Okay, so this little handout that I just gave you, it says on one side it says directions. Okay, turn to the side that says directions. Okay, turn to the side that says directions. And you'll see where it says, consider your family. So you're going to be thinking about your own family. You think that something runs in your family. In other words, this means that members of your family pass this condition down to their children. It could be a medical condition or some sort of weakness. It might even be a certain strength, like being able to learn something, a skill, or having a personality trait. And whatever it is, you must be able to tell someone who has it from someone who doesn't. So I'll tell you something one of my students did one time that was not correct. She filled out this whole table with her family members, mama, daddy, self, aunt, uncle, and for every one of them, she wrote beside here, stubborn. Apparently, she was a little stubborn because she wouldn't listen to the fact that you have to be able to see it in order for you to put it on this list. Okay, it can't be something like stubbornness or, anger problems, but it could be something like alcoholism. Although you can't see it, you can detect it in some way. Something that other people know that you actually have. Okay. So anyway, I've given you some examples here. Heart disease, diabetes, athleticism. If you think people in your family are athletic, then in the table on the other side, write down what the sport is. Like if you've got family members that play football or something like that, please don't interrupt me right now. I'll call on you when you can, okay? So things that they died from. You may know that people in your family have died from, say, heart attacks or kidney disease. Or it could be something minor, like, nearsightedness. It could be something like that, where you have to have glasses. Anyway, that runs in my family. Okay, so you can put in your chart who has it and who doesn't. Okay, things like left-handedness runs in families. It runs in mine. Okay, so choose one characteristic that